Assalamu alaikum. With the name of Allah, the most merciful and beneficent. Welcome to the FSC first year at Army Bernal College for Girls, Abbottabad. I am your instructor, Miss Sayyida Sidra, and I will teach you chemistry in this session, inshallah. Hope so that you are watching this lecture in good state of health. As you all are familiar with the current pandemic prevailing in Pakistan and all over the world, we are starting the online classes till the situation gets better. But before starting the lecture, I want to emphasize on one thing, that these 2 years of FSC, they are the most crucial in deciding your future. Or in fact, these are the golden years to brighten up your future. So you have to keep your focus on these 2 years to achieve your targets. I shall try my level best to provide you the best, but on the other hand, you also have to struggle hard to achieve your goals. First of all, I will look at the chemistry textbook cover page. This is the cover page of your chemistry book. Now moving towards the contents of first year chemistry. Total we have 12 chapters and we will cover all these 12 chapters in this session, inshallah. First we will start with the chapter number 1, Stoichiometry chapter. And in today's lecture, the topics which we will cover, they include introduction, mole, Avogadro's number, and stoichiometric calculations. First, starting with introduction. The word stoichiometry is a Greek word and it is divided into 2 parts. Stoichion means element and metry means measurement. So the literal meaning of this word is element measurement. Before going into detail, I want to explain this stoichiometry with the help of few examples. If an engineer wants to design a hybrid car engine, so for the efficient working of the engine, he must provide the relative amount of fuel and oxygen for its efficient working. If he designs the engine in such a way that the amount of fuel and oxygen will not be provided properly, so the engine will not work. Secondly, if a chemist wants to produce any product, so he must mix the accurate amount of the reactants in order to get the desired product. Such type of phenomena can be studied with the help of stoichiometry. Thus, the stoichiometry is the study of relative amount of substances involved in a chemical reaction. This is the definition of stoichiometry. Let us explain this with the help of a journal reaction, that if we have A plus B, both A plus B, they are reactants and they react with each other, we will get C plus D. Both C and D, they are products. That 2 moles of A, when reacts with 4 moles of B, we will have the formation of 3 moles of C plus 3 moles of D. This stoichiometry, it also explains the quantitative relationship between reactants and products. Now I will explain this quantitative relationship with the help of different examples. That if I increase the concentration of A from 2A to 4A, so by increasing the concentration of A, how many moles of C will be obtained? Means that we are measuring the concentration of products with respect to the reactant. We are doubling the concentration of A from 2 to 4, so it means that here we will obtain 6 moles of C. So such type of relationship is called as reactant-product relationship. Means that we are measuring the quantity of product with respect to the reactant. Next we have that if I have decreased the concentration of A from 2A to 1A, so how many moles of B will be required to produce the desired product? Means that I have decreased the concentration of A from 2 to 1, means I have half the concentration of A. So here we have 4 moles of B. So in this we will have 2 moles of B. That 1 mole of A plus 2 moles of B will give us the desired products. Means that we are measuring one of the reactant with respect to the other reactant. So this is reactant-reactant relationship. Next one we have that both A and B, they react with each other and we will have the formation of 6 moles of C. Means that the concentration of C is increased from 3 to 6. If concentration of C is increased, then how many moles of D will be obtained? Means that we are measuring the concentration of D with respect to the other product. So this will gives us product-product relationship. So in this way, we can measure the quantitative relationship between reactants and products by the help of stoichiometry. So for measuring this quantitative relationship, balanced chemical equation is necessary. Without balancing, we can't measure the quantitative relationship between any of the two participants. 3 different relationships can be there. It can be either reactant-product, it can be either reactant-reactant, or it can be product-product relationship. I have explained this with the help of a journal example. Now moving towards the particular examples. First we have rocket manufacture example. He uses liquid hydrogen as a fuel. So he must know that how much fuel is required for a particular flight. And the reaction involved is that hydrogen gas burns in the presence of oxygen gas. We will have the formation of steam. This G is the gaseous state. We can state this equation in 3 different terms, either in terms of moles, in terms of molecules, or in terms of grams. First in terms of moles, that 2 moles of hydrogen, when they burns with 1 mole of oxygen, we will have the formation of 2 moles of steam. Now in terms of molecules, that 2 molecules of hydrogen, when they combine with the 1 molecule of oxygen, we will have the formation of 2 molecules of steam. And the last one we have grams. 1 hydrogen molecule is equivalent to 2 grams, and in this reaction we have 2 hydrogen molecules. So the overall weight will be 4 grams. And 1 oxygen molecule is equivalent to 32 grams. So the overall mass of both of these reactants will be 36 grams. The 36 grams of reactants, when they combine with each other, we will have the formation of 36 grams of steam. 1 water molecule is equivalent to 18 grams. So 2 water molecules will be equivalent to 36 grams. Have you observed one thing in this reaction? That the total mass of reactant is equal to the total mass of product. Means law of conservation of mass is obeyed in this reaction. The next example we have reaction taking place in gas barbecue, and the reaction is combustion reaction. That if we have an organic compound, it burns in the presence of oxygen, we will have the formation of carbon dioxide plus water molecule. That 1 mole of propane, when burns with the 5 mole of oxygen, we will have the formation of 3 moles of carbon dioxide plus 4 moles of water molecule. Next we have mole. You must have studied mole in your previous classes. Mole can be defined as amount of any substance expressed in grams is called as mole. This amount can be atomic mass, molecular mass, and formula mass. It can be in terms of atomic mass. 1 mole of oxygen is equivalent to 16 grams. Next, when we have in terms of molecular mass, so we will take two different examples. Homonuclear molecule and heteronuclear molecule. Homo means same and hetero means different. Means that one molecule is composed of similar atoms, it is called as homonuclear molecule. And when molecule is composed of different atoms, it is called as heteronuclear molecule. This oxygen molecule is an example of homonuclear molecule, and water molecule is an example of heteronuclear molecule. That 1 mole of oxygen molecule is equivalent to 32 grams, and 1 mole of water molecule is equivalent to 18 grams. Next we have formula mass. When we have ionic compounds, the case is little bit different. In case of ionic compounds, instead of atomic or molecular mass, we take the formula mass, because when they mix up with the water, they dissociate up into their respective ions. That 1 mole of sodium chloride, upon dissociation in water, we will have the formation of 1 mole of sodium ions plus 1 mole of chloride ions. This AQ stands for aqueous. The formula used for calculating the number of moles, we have number of moles is equal to given mass divided by either atomic mass, molecular mass, or formula mass. Atomic mass will be in case of elements, molecular mass will be in case of molecules, while formula mass will be in case of ionic compounds. This formula can also be used for calculating the mass of a particular substance. If the number of moles are already given to us, we can calculate the mass of that particular substance. Simply cross multiply the number of moles with either atomic mass, molecular mass, or formula mass. So in this way, we can obtain the mass of that particular substance. Next we have representative particles. Dear students, the particles can be atoms, molecules, and ions. Particles are the smallest unit of the substance. We can obtain them without changing their composition. Atoms are the representative particles in case of chemical elements. Molecules are the representative particles in case of covalently bonded compounds, while the ions are the representative particles in case of ionic compounds. First, we will discuss about the atoms. Let us consider the example of sodium metal. If we have a sodium metal and we cut the sodium metal into small pieces, and the smallest unit of this sodium metal will be sodium atom, and the composition of that sodium atom will be similar to the composition of sodium metal. Next we have molecules. In molecules we have taken the example of water. If we have a beaker filled with water, it is composed of large number of water molecules, and the smallest unit in this case will be a single water molecule, and the composition of that single water molecule will be similar to the overall composition of water molecules. And the last one we have ions in case of ionic compounds. In this I have taken the example of sodium chloride. Let us consider the sodium chloride heap. If we have a sodium chloride heap and we divide it into small pieces so that we are left with the sodium chloride grain. The composition of that grain of sodium chloride will be similar to the composition of sodium chloride heap. So, combining this, the representative particles are atoms, molecules or ions. Next we have Avogadro's number. In previous slide, we have discussed about the different representative particles, atoms, ions or molecules. But how do a chemist calculate the atoms, ions or molecules? The number of atoms, ions or molecules present in 1 mole of a substance is termed as Avogadro's number. Its numerical value is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23. It is also represented as Na. If we have 1 mole of any substance, it is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 particles. Particles can be atoms, ions or molecules depending upon the particular substance. Example we have that 2 molecules of hydrogen, when they burn in the presence of 1 molecule of oxygen, we will have the formation of 2 molecules of steam. We can also state this equation in terms of Avogadro's number, that 2 multiplied by 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of hydrogen, when they combine with 1 into 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of oxygen, we will obtain 2 into 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of steam. If we have gas and 1 mole of any gas at STP, this STP stands for standard temperature pressure. It occupies a volume of 22.414 cubic decimeter and 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 particles. Next we have mole calculation. Dear students, the relationship between moles and Avogadro's number in an atom and covalent compounds is as follows. First I will discuss about the atoms. That 1 mole of any atom will be equivalent to the Avogadro's number. 1 mole of oxygen is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of oxygen. If we have 1 mole of carbon, it will be equivalent to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of carbon. In case of molecules, as we have discussed earlier, that in molecules we will take homonuclear molecule and heteronuclear molecule. Homo means similar atoms and hetero means that the molecule is composed of different atoms. If we have 1 mole of oxygen molecule, it is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of oxygen. And if we have 1 mole of water molecule, it will be equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of water. Now compare the oxygen in molecule and oxygen in atom. Here we have single oxygen atom and here we have 2 oxygen atoms. When they combine together, we will have an oxygen molecule. If we want to calculate the atoms present in a given molecule, I have considered the example of water molecule. The composition of water molecule is that it is composed of 2 atoms of hydrogen plus 1 atom of oxygen. Now in terms of particles, that 2 multiplied by 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of hydrogen, when they combine with 1 into 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of oxygen. So after solving this, we can get the total number of atoms present in a single water molecule. So the total number of atoms present in a single water molecule will be 18.06 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of water molecule. Now in case of ionic compounds, if we have sodium chloride and in water it dissociates up into its respective ions, sodium ions plus chloride ions. We have discussed earlier that in ionic compounds we discuss about the formula mass instead of molecular mass or atomic mass. If 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 formula units of sodium chloride upon dissociation in water, it gives us 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 formula units of sodium ions plus 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 formula units of chloride ions. And if we want to calculate the total number of ions present in 1 mole of this sodium chloride, so we can solve this. After solving this, we will get the total number of ions in sodium chloride, and they will be equal to 12.04 into 10 raised to power 23 ions in sodium chloride. We have discussed about the different particles, ions, atoms and molecules. We can calculate the number of particles with the help of this formula, that the number of particles is equal to number of moles multiplied by Avogadro's number. And we have already discussed the formula of number of moles, that the number of moles is equal to given mass divided by either atomic mass, molecular mass or formula mass. This formula can be used for calculating the number of particles. If number of particles are given to us, we can also calculate the number of moles. If number of moles are given to us, we can calculate the number of particles. The next topic we have construction of mole ratios as conversion factor. But first I will explain that what is mole ratio. It is the ratio between any two participants involved in a chemical reaction. Different relationships can occur in mole ratio. It can be either reactant-reactant, product-product or reactant-product relationship. If you remember, I have explained all these relationships right at the start of this lecture. If we want to measure the quantity of one of the reactant with respect to the other reactant, then mole ratio will explain reactant-reactant relationship. And if we want to measure one of the product with respect to the other product, the mole ratio will explain product-product relationship. And if we want to measure either of the reactant with either of the product or product with respect to reactant, then mole ratio will explain the reactant-product relationship. For example, we have combustion of propane, and the reaction is that 1 mole of propane, when it burns with the 5 moles of oxygen, we will get 3 moles of carbon dioxide plus 4 moles of water molecule. This 1, 5, 3 and 4 are the coefficients of reactants and products. If nothing is written with any substance, it means that 1 is there. If we measure the quantity of oxygen with respect to propane, we will get reactant-reactant. If we measure either carbon dioxide with respect to water or water with respect to carbon dioxide, then we will get product-product relationship. Or if we measure any of the reactant with respect to any of the product or any of the product with respect to any of the reactant, then we will explain the reactant-product relationship. But for this, balanced chemical equation is mandatory. So the conversion factor can also be defined as ratio of coefficients found in a balanced chemical equation which can interconvert the amount of any two participants. I have explained about the coefficients, and for this balanced chemical equation is necessary. And two participants, we have discussed the different relationships. It can be reactant-reactant, it can be product-product, or it can be reactant-product relationship. And the formula used for the calculation of conversion factor is equal to that number of moles of desired quantity in balanced equation divided by number of moles of given quantity in balanced equation. Desired quantity is that quantity which you have to determine in your given numerical problem, while given quantity is already given to us. And you have to write the number of moles of both of these desired or given quantity from the balanced equation. For determining the desired quantity, we have the formula that desired quantity is equal to given quantity multiplied by conversion factor. For solving any numerical problem, you have to follow different steps. First of all, you have to write the balanced chemical equation. If in some of the numerical problems, balanced chemical equation is already given to us, while in some we have to write the balanced chemical equation by reading the statement of that problem. After writing the balanced chemical equation, you have to look at this thing whether the quantities they are given in terms of moles or in terms of grams. If the quantities are given in terms of grams, you have to convert them into moles. As we have seen in the formula that you have to write the number of moles of desired quantity or given quantity. So after looking at these two factors, you have to find the conversion factor or mole ratio with the help of this formula. After calculating the conversion factor, simply insert the value of this conversion factor into the desired quantity formula. That desired quantity is equal to given quantity multiplied by conversion factor. Now I will explain with the help of an interesting example that we know this thing that for the preparation of a cheese sandwich, we need 2 bread slices and 1 cheese slice. So when 2 bread slices they combine with 1 cheese slice, we will get 1 cheese sandwich. This is our balanced chemical equation. But for the formation of 7 cheese sandwiches, how many bread slices we need? So first you have to locate this thing that what is your desired quantity and what is the given quantity by reading the statement carefully. That how many slices of bread, it means that the slices of bread are the desired quantity. And how many slices of bread do you need to make 7 grilled cheese sandwiches? Means the quantity of 7 grilled cheese sandwiches is given to us. So the cheese sandwiches, they are given quantity. So first we have to write the balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation is already written. So we have to find the conversion factor. So in writing the conversion factor by using the previous formula, so we have to write the number of moles of the desired quantity from the balanced chemical equation. So we have 2 moles of bread slices divided by 1 mole of cheese sandwich, because this cheese sandwich is given to us, but we have to write its number of moles from the balanced chemical equation. After writing this conversion factor, we have to insert the value of this conversion factor into the desired quantity formula. The 7 grilled cheese sandwiches are the given quantity multiplied by the conversion factor. Cheese sandwiches, they cancel out with each other. So we are left with 7 multiplied by 2 is equal to 14 bread slices. So 14 bread slices are required for the preparation of 7 grilled cheese sandwiches. Dear students, starting with the sample problem number 1.1. First read the statement of this problem from your textbook. Methanol burns according to the following equation. that 2 moles of methanol, when they combine with 3 moles of oxygen, we will get 2 moles of carbon dioxide plus 4 moles of water. If 3.50 moles of methanol are burnt in oxygen, calculate in part A how many moles of oxygen are used, while in part B how many moles of water are produced. We will solve these parts one by one. First, the moles of oxygen. Moles of methanol, they are already given to us in the statement of this problem. So moles of methanol will be given quantity and it is equal to 3.50 moles. We have to calculate the moles of oxygen. So the oxygen will be our desired quantity. In this problem, the balanced chemical equation is already given to us. And second, the quantities, they are already given to us in terms of moles. So we have to find the conversion factor or mole ratio by using the previous formula, that the number of moles of desired quantity divided by number of moles of the given quantity. So here the mole ratio is the relationship between oxygen and methanol. Both these are reactant. So the mole ratio is explaining the reactant-reactant relationship. We have 3 moles of oxygen divided by 2 moles of methanol from the balanced chemical equation. After writing the conversion factor, insert the value of this conversion factor into the desired quantity formula. That desired quantity is equal to given quantity multiplied by conversion factor. After putting all these values, the moles of methanol, they cancel out with the moles of methanol, and we are left with 3.50 multiplied by 3 divided by 2 moles of oxygen. After solving this, we will get our desired quantity, which is equal to 5.25 moles of oxygen. In part B, given quantity is the moles of methanol, which is equal to 3.50 moles, but here the desired quantity is different, that we have to calculate the moles of water. First we have to write the conversion factor or mole ratio, but here the mole ratio is different, as the mole ratio is explaining the relationship between water and methanol. So this is product-reactant relationship. We have to write the respective moles from the balanced chemical equation. That conversion factor is equal to 4 moles of water divided by 2 moles of methanol. After writing the conversion factor, we have to insert the value of this conversion factor into the desired quantity formula, which is equal to given quantity multiplied by conversion factor. After putting all these values, moles of methanol, they cancel out with the moles of methanol. We are left with 3.50 multiplied by 4 divided by 2 moles of water. After solving this, we will get our desired quantity, which is equal to 7 moles of water. So in part A, the desired quantity is the moles of oxygen, while in part B, the desired quantity is moles of water. Related to this problem, we have self-check exercise 1.1 given in your book. You have to attempt this problem at your own with the help of these steps and formula. Next we have stoichiometric calculations. The molar quantities of the gases, they can be expressed in terms of their volumes. If we have 1 mole of any gas at standard temperature pressure, it occupies a volume which is called as molar volume, and it is equal to 22.414 cubic decimeter. Now the sample problem number 1.2. Read the statement of this problem carefully from your book. That iron can be produced from iron ore Fe2O3 by reacting the ore with carbon monoxide. Carbon dioxide is produced in this reaction as a byproduct. What mass of iron can be formed from 425 grams of iron ore? The given data in this problem, we have mass of iron ore which is equal to 425 grams. What we have to calculate is the mass of iron. So the iron ore is the given quantity, while the iron will be the desired quantity. First of all, we have to write the balanced chemical equation. As in this problem, the balanced chemical equation is not given. So you have to write the balanced chemical equation by reading the statement of this problem carefully. That Fe2O3 plus 3 moles of carbon monoxide, they react with each other. We will get 2 moles of iron plus 3 moles of carbon dioxide. So this is your first step. And the second step, you have to look at this thing, that quantities they are given in terms of grams or moles. Here the quantities of the given quantity is given in terms of grams. So first we have to convert these grams into the number of moles. So the number of moles of iron ore is equal to mass divided by molecular mass. We have to use this formula for the calculation of number of moles. After putting the values, mass is equal to 425 grams, while the molecular mass is equal to 159.6 grams per mole. After solving this, the moles of iron ore is equal to 2.66 moles of Fe2O3. So this is the given quantity. So we have to calculate the number of iron produced by using the given quantity, which is equal to 2.66 moles of iron ore. First we have to calculate the conversion factor. Here I have written straight away the desired quantity formula, but you have to write first the conversion factor and then you have to insert the value of that conversion factor into the desired quantity formula. That what is the desired quantity? Desired quantity is the number of moles of iron and given quantity is number of moles of iron ore multiplied by conversion factor, and conversion factor is equal to number of moles of iron divided by number of moles of iron ore. We have to write their number of moles from the balanced chemical equation, that 2 moles of iron divided by 1 mole of iron ore. Moles of iron ore, they cancel out with the moles of iron ore. We are left with the moles of iron. And solve this, that 2.66 multiplied by 2 moles of iron, which is equal to 5.32 moles of iron. So, but if you read the statement of this problem, so the iron is demanded in terms of mass, that we have to calculate the mass of iron. So in last step, again we have to convert the moles of iron into mass. So we can also calculate the mass of iron with the help of number of moles formula. That number of moles of iron is equal to the given mass divided by the atomic mass. But here we have to calculate this mass. That number of moles are given to us, which is equal to 5.32 moles of iron is equal to mass divided by the atomic mass of this iron, which is 55.9 gram per mole. Cross multiply both these terms. So mass is equal to 5.32 mole of iron multiplied by 55.9 gram per mole. So in this way we can calculate the mass of iron, which is equal to 297.4 grams of iron. So 297.4 grams of iron can be obtained from 425 grams of iron ore. Related to this sample problem, we have self-check exercise 1.2. You have to solve at your own. Next we have sample problem number 1.3. Read the statement of this problem from your book. that calculate the number of molecules of oxygen produced by the thermal decomposition of 490 grams of potassium chlorate. Mass of potassium chlorate is given quantity which is equal to 490 grams. What we have to calculate is number of molecules of oxygen, which is our desired quantity. But first of all, we have to write the chemical equation for the thermal decomposition of potassium chlorate, which is not given to us in the statement of this problem. That 2 moles of potassium chlorate upon thermal decomposition, we will get 2 moles of potassium chloride plus 3 moles of oxygen. And this potassium chlorate is ionic compound and the quantities they are given in terms of grams. So first we have to calculate the number of moles of potassium chlorate with the help of the formula that the number of moles of potassium chlorate is equal to the mass divided by the formula mass. And the given mass is 490 grams divided by 122.5 grams per mole. After solving this, we will get 4 moles of potassium chlorate. So stoichiometrically, we can say this thing that from the balanced chemical equation, that 2 moles of potassium chlorate will gives us 3 moles of oxygen. Then how many moles of oxygen will we obtain from 4 moles of potassium chlorate? This 3 divided by 2 is the conversion factor and this 4 is the given quantity. After solving all this, we will obtain that 4 moles of potassium chlorate will gives us 6 moles of oxygen. As we are familiar with this thing, that 1 mole is equivalent to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of oxygen. So 6 moles will be equivalent to 6 multiplied by 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules of oxygen, and it is 3.612 into 10 raised to power 24 molecules of oxygen. So in this way we can calculate the number of molecules of oxygen produced from the thermal decomposition of 490 grams of potassium chlorate. That's all from today's lecture. But you have to practice all these problems again and again in order to get the command upon these numericals. In home task, what you have to do that you have to attempt the self-check exercise 1.1, self-check exercise 1.2, and from the exercise of this chapter you have to attempt the part 5 and part 6 of question number 2. Take good care of yourself and Allah Hafiz.